All right. Hey, everybody. We are live.
We are. We're alive and well.
Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Let's see. Let's start out. Let's see who we have in the chat. We've got Nicole. Hello, Nicole. We've had Tanya. Hello, Tanya. Happy birthday.
Carlton Adventures, whoever that is.
I don't know who that
Yeah.
is. Ross. Okay. So we got a few people. Hopefully more people will join. So what's up, buddy? You went on vacation, didn't you?
I took a little vacation, went back up north, my home away from home.
Yeah.
Jeremy's here.
Uh, hey, Jeremy. And you went with who uh, that outdoor channel? What's the name of it?
It's an outdoor channel. They're called like Sinkers and Tents or something like that. Hooks and Hammocks, Chris and Telly. Yeah, we went up there. So Paige and I did it in 2019, and we don't publicize it much, but we hang out with Chris and Telly now and then, and
Right.
we've talked about getting up there and taking them up. They've never done a multi-day trip, so
Right.
there was one. I think on your first time something like that, they've only been on, I think, one or two other overnighters where they've actually backpacked out. So
Yeah.
you know how it is as a newbie, you'd like to go with somebody experienced, and so you don't make any dumb mistakes or something, and actually enjoy the trip. So we kind of been planning it for about a year. And it was a great time. We did 35 of the 42 miles, but if you've ever done it before, if you're heading west from Mitres Castle to Munising, it's like 7.5 miles, and I don't know, it's just kind of woods walking. By that time, you've seen everything that's great on Lake Superior and all the sites. So
Yeah.
we decided to take it. I called it leisurely. They were like, oh, this is more leisurely, but we did like 3 7-mile days, and then we were going to do an 8-mile day, and then like a 4.5 5-mile day out. But on the fourth day, everybody was feeling great. We were like almost to the camp spot for the night, and they're like, we've only got like 3.5 miles out. Well, let me explain that. We were going to park
Please
at Mitres
explain.
Castle. We were going to park at Mitres Castle. We're going to have a 5-mile day out, but when we came in that morning to drop our car off, the road was closed going to the castle parking lot, so we had to go down a little bit and east on the trail to Miners Beach parking lot. So it knocked around a mile or so off. So back to the story, last day, we're like, we could be at the car tonight if we do like 12 miles instead of 8.5. That sounded great because it was going to get down in the 30s that night, and warm bed, food, all that good stuff. So we knocked it out in 4 days instead of 5. But we had great weather.
Except for that one day where you had to camp out in the crapper.
Well, I'd say great weather. I mean, better weather than Paige and I had the first time. I know the first night we had pretty good winds. I didn't sleep much because the winds were just rolling through there. And I think I have PTSD from our Tecumseh trip.
Yeah.
Like, it was winds like that. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the trees were blowing. I could feel my hammock where the trees would go out. My hammock would go up. So I was doing this all night, bouncing around. And then the second night, right. The second night we had rainstorms come in, and it got pretty wicked. It was like what you and I dealt with, but for only about 20 minutes.
Like end times type things?
Yes. It was just it was blowing so hard on my tarp. The wind was that it was blowing my tarp against my hammock, and it was raining so hard when I reached out, like the water was running down my tarp and onto my underquilt. So I was, for 20 minutes, I got my arm out pushing my tarp away. And we did have a tree fall over by Telly. She was in a hammock, and luckily it fell the other way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was, we had a scary night there. I mean, luckily it only lasted for like 20, 30 minutes, and it calmed down and just kind of steady rain that night. But all in all, the trip itself was great.
Well, it was a great video. And I have to say that your video was, it almost inspired me to want to do it. But what I really got inspiration from was that Hooks and Hammocks compilation video of nothing but photos. That was chef's kiss. That's like, oh, I got to go there.
He hit it on TikTok, but I think he was just enjoying the moment too, to where he just got caught up in it and really didn't
lazy.
Be nice. Jeez.
Well, no, that is me being nice. I think he should have made a full
all
video.
In all,
you don't get chances like that very often to go somewhere.
I mean, it was great scenery. He got a lot of great pictures and video clips. Not enough to really do a really big video, but I don't know. I think I know the second day his leg was really bothering him, and he's never done this kind of mileage and multi-day stuff. You know how it is; it starts to add up.
Oh,
You
I
guys
know.
have done
Yeah,
that,
I know all
and
about it.
on top of that, years ago he had a really bad motorcycle accident, and he was showing me like his right leg has got really hurt, jacked up, it's shattered basically. He's got rods and pins and stuff, but
Yeah.
he was showing me he could take his foot and just flex it back and forth. And you can do it too if you're in shorts, and you can kind of see your calf, your shin move a little bit. His like rolls and twists, and he's like every step it does that, man. And he was on the fence whether to continue after the second day, but after the third day, he woke up, he felt better, your body rejuvenates, and we just decided,
Well, I give
hey,
him props. I definitely give him props for doing it. I was disappointed that I didn't get to see his perspective from it. That's all. And I have to give him crap about something. It's what I do.
It's what you do. But no, we just decided, hey, if you're hurting left in the second day, let's just take more breaks. Let's really slow down and enjoy this. And it was taking us 7-8 hours of hiking to do 7 miles. I mean, we really stopped and smelt the roses. So, which is good. I have a tendency of just putting my head down and walking until I get to where I go.
Yeah, you do.
And
I have a tendency to stop every 10 feet and try to breathe.
See, when I hike with you, I hike a lot slower. So
yeah, you do. Everybody does. Okay. So anyway, glad you had fun.
I did. One other thing too. I got to meet somebody with a bigger YouTube channel than you.
Everybody has a bigger YouTube channel than I do.
So that story,
that
one lady, she's got, it's what's her name? Dixie. Dixie.
I honestly don't know who she is. I've never watched any of her videos.
Well, that's because you don't like hiking videos, but I guarantee everybody in the chat knows who Dixie from Homemade Wanderlust is. She does a lot for the community. You should probably get to know her a little bit. But it was like the chances of meeting her, we're talking about this later. We were cracking up because we were running late. We were supposed to go to Miners Castle and drop a car off. And instead, because that road was closed, we went to Miners Beach. I mean, there was a bunch of things that threw us off schedule that morning.
Yeah.
And when she come down the hill from where she camped that night and crossed the parking lot, you're talking about a 50-foot span of trail. As we pulled into the parking lot,
get to her? Is that what
yeah, when we came into the parking lot, yeah, we ran with open arms. She had just popped out of the woods, her and her boyfriend Marty. So we're like, I seen him and I didn't really notice her. I was like, man, he looks familiar from watching her Florida trail videos. And Paige is like, oh my God, that's Dixie. And I looked, I was like,
Paige said that?
Holy crap. Oh yeah, Paige knows who Dixie is. She enjoys little YouTube. Okay. But so that was pretty cool. It was I'm sure that poor girl gets recognized and stopped all the time, but you would have thought she was meeting her first fan. Like she got a, hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for stopping and talking.
I can just see you. I can, hey Dixie, I watch your channel.
I watch your channel. But no, think about somebody like that trying to hike. Yeah. Think about how many people stop her to talk. So I was trying not to like fanboy out or anything, but it was pretty cool of her to stop and chit chat.
Well,
yeah. Celebrities, man.
That's great. Glad you had fun. Let's get to our guest. What do you say?
Who's that?
Oh, some guy knows about knives.
A knife guy.
He really kind of begged me to bring him on. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, after much begging and.
No, actually, so tonight we're gonna feature my boy Grumpy Grunt. He is a outdoorsman. He is a forager of mushroom things. He is a knife connoisseur and just all around nice guy. I had the pleasure of camping with him when I didn't even know him and was worried that he was gonna slit my throat in my hammock, but he didn't, and we're fast friends. So so I'm going to bring him on, and everybody, please welcome my boy. What's up, Grumpy?
What's up, brother Chris?
What's going on,
Brother Brian? How are you?
How we doing, buddy?
Good to see you.
All right. So Brian usually starts off with the questions, but I'm going to start off, and I'm going to talk. I want you to talk about we'll start with the outdoor stuff. What is your camping, hiking, backpacking, fishing experience like? Where did you get started in all that?
Basically, hey Russ, what's up? Hooks and Hammocks, Nicole, Tony, everybody, Mike. I got started basically. on the weekends where I was with my father out in Hancock County. My dad was a farmer, so in order to get out of the house and away from being in trouble all the time, I just wandered off to the creek that ran through, and I'd hike the creek and run through the woods. And when I got old enough, then I started hunting and trying to run a trap line and stuff like that. So
you got that rural upbringing.
a little bit of that. I mean, I was from town. I mean, I'm from Greenfield, like in town, but my father was a farmer, so split home. So I would go up there on the weekends, and
so you got the best of both worlds.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I lived behind a donut shop and grew up on a farm.
Well, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. What would you say is your favorite outdoor activity if you could pick only one of them?
Ooh, man, a multi-day foraging trip, so I can camp and forage
with camping, right?
Yeah, basically, camping and foraging, kind of right there.
Nice. So let's talk. So, do you prefer hammock or these are all questions you should be asking, Brian, because these are actually kind of generic. Go ahead.
Well, before we go into that, Ross says behind the sweet shop. Is that it? He's asking Grumpy. Okay.
Yep. You know it,
Ross is Greenfield also.
Yeah, he's Greenfield.
Peterson is wanting to know if Ross, or he's sending out a big hug to Ross.
Wow, Peterson's here. Okay.
Yeah.
What's up, Michael?
So tent, hammock, what do you have a preference, or do you like both?
I grew up all tent. Hammocks have been just within the last 3 years, maybe. I started moving to hammocks. I like them, but I'm a stomach sleeper, so hammocks are proving a bit of a difficult transition. Yeah. I'm trying. I did go out and buy an Amok Drummer XL.
Oh, you did buy one?
Yeah, I've got one.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of my go-to as far as hammock camping, but I'm trying to force myself into the gathered end, just so I can get used to it. Try and learn to side sleep well enough, deep enough that I can still fall asleep.
Yeah, it takes a while. It's taken me a long time, and Brian can tell you that I've had to make adjustments. Like, he's been camping with me long enough to see me kind of grow,
make mistakes.
Yeah. But once you get there, it's like, oh, this is great. It's like, Brian, I'll let you ask some questions since I've taken all the generic ones now.
Oh, thanks. So how did you get the name Grumpy? Where does that come from?
Yeah, that's a good one.
A Grumpy Grunt.
Honestly, I picked it. It's not a nickname somebody gave me or anything. I just didn't want my channel name to be my name.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm generally an angry person who
I was going to ask, do people assume that you're angry?
I generally have a scowl on my face that keeps people away. So if you only know me through online interaction, I probably seem like an incredibly happy person. But to know me in real life, I'm a pretty brooding and sullen individual. So
really, I've never, even in person, I've never got that from you.
You're only around me in short stints.
Well, that's true. Yeah. We'll do a multi-day hike and see how we do.
There you go.
Yeah. Day 3.
Yeah. Day 3. That's when you need to worry about,
He's not smiling anymore.
Coming to get you.
Is day 3 when that's what she said jokes kind of gets on your nerves?
They get old.
It's over.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But no, the more I'm around, I'm a bit misanthropic. So I tend to want to be around nobody a lot.
Well, I'm the same way. I struggle with that, dude. Between wanting to do YouTube and wanting everyone to leave me alone. I go back and forth. If you'll notice, I take great stints where I don't do anything. Well,
it's a weird dichotomy, isn't it? I mean, you want to engage your friends and everybody, but at the same time, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Leave me alone.
I'll be over here. Right.
You can subscribe to my channel, but just leave me alone.
Just don't try to know me personally. If you could just back up a little bit, that'd be great.
Yeah, I reached out to you the other day, Chris, and I was like, "Hey, you still alive?" I hadn't heard from you for like 4 or 5 days. It's like, you
I
get
do.
busy
I
in
take
life.
offense, man, where I'm off the grid for a bit, and I come back all happy. I'm good.
So, what made you want to do YouTube?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Because it's there.
Right.
No, I love knives. I love gear. I love the outdoors. I wanted to practice more bushcraft, have a reason to practice more bushcraft, have a reason to go out more. And it really turned more into having a reason to buy a bunch of knives. Because I get out a lot less. I don't get to go out as much as I did, and when I do, I'm worried about making content, so that kind of makes me a bit anxious about going out, which turns into something counterproductive.
You are a content king, I will say. You are on the grind.
Mhm.
Like every other day, I see a video or an Instagram or something from you, and I can't keep up, to be quite honest.
I try an Instagram every single day, and YouTube is even numbered days. I try and do a content drop. Sometimes there are extras. Once in a while, I miss one, and then Thursday nights are my live, of course. So
now I know you have knives coming in and out all constantly, but I was going to ask you about, as far as from a content standpoint, you have. I know how many knives you have on your desk. I've seen your desk, but do you ever run out? Do you ever run out of ideas? Do you ever run out of knives to show?
I haven't run out of knives yet. I'm incredibly fortunate. My viewers are incredibly kind, incredibly generous. I have people send me 10 knives. I had one guy hand me like $1,000 worth of knives and then give me another 4 that he's like, give these away or something.
Dang.
Another person loaned me 6 and then told me to pick my favorite and keep that one and send the rest back to him. That happens all the time in our community, not just to me. But yeah, right now I'm inundated with knives. I'm actually telling people, hold off. I can't do anymore right now. I'm worried that I'm going to get them mixed up and send somebody the wrong knife or something like that.
How do you keep them straight? Do you have a certain area on the desk?
No, I just keep it to us under a certain number so that I know that I'm only dealing with 2 or 3 people's knives at one time and whose is what.
Okay.
Once I get to at least to where I'm down to just one other person's knives here, then I send it out. Plus, I joined what we call a pass around group, where knife manufacturers or somebody in the community who has one unique knife that's they'll put it into this group and we all pass it around and take a look at it. We don't really get to use it. It's not like a long-term review. You get maybe a week at most to look at this thing, make your video and get it onto the next person.
We have something similar to that. It's called the meetups, where I give away all my gear. So
I'm sitting here looking at some of your gear around me. Actually,
send it all out.
Yeah, Chris is like, I don't need this anymore.
Time for a meetup.
I found something better.
Time for a meetup.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian. You got. I'm sorry.
I was just going to talk about his channel a little bit too. This is where like my IT guy could probably screen share his YouTube channel and stuff too. If I had this IT guy that I'm supposed to have, but what I do like about, we were talking earlier before the show, Grumpy, was like with your lives and everything, it's really cool because like we're saying, you could get a knife that's sent to you or you bought, you could review it, do a simple gear review like everybody does in the backpacking world, and then tell your likes, dislikes, specs about it, boom, 5-minute video out there and get some views. But instead, the way you do it with your lives is you've got a community that you've grown and you guys talk about that or different knives and stuff. So I think that's probably, not the only one that you're probably not the only one that does that, but I think you do it well. And I think, if you guys that are in the chat or that watch this haven't checked out, at least go check out a live. Cause I think you'd be surprised of how big that community is. You think, oh, it's just
it's
nice. No, I
huge.
mean, you guys are like, you guys know each other, and it's really, you've really grown a great community. And like I said, sometimes I'll pop into your lives if I got 10 minutes and just like, dang, I'm just always blown away. Like your guys' community. It's great.
Yeah. Here's his channel. And if you're watching this after this live, go over and give him a sub. We need to, this is ridiculous for the amount of work that you put in. No, you need more than this because you do a lot of hard work. And, but I mean, what you've got 100 and you've only been doing it for less than a year, right?
I think I'm right at a year,
right at a year, but it's like
I'm either just under or just over a year, but it's somewhere is either July 14th or June 14th. I dropped my first content.
So like 100 and yeah, I think you've got like 165 videos or something like that, which is way more than Carlson. So
oh yeah, I've got like 94 in like 4 years.
Right. But yeah, give him a like. Let's get him. He needs to be up and over that 1,000. So and the other thing I want to show is the thing you as good as stuff as you do here, the stuff you do on Instagram is equally as awesome. So let me stop sharing this and I will go share the Instagram and go follow him there. That's where he's really the big kahuna as far as
I enjoy Instagram even more than YouTube. It is.
Yeah. And see, you promote other people. I like that you do that. You promote other people's products.
Mm-hmm.
But look at that, 1,300 followers. I mean,
nice.
You would
That's
think
more than Chris and I are together.
I can't even. If I opened it, if I was an OnlyFans girl, I couldn't even get that.
Well, pictures of your feet,
you say that because half of them are either people who hawk Damascus from somewhere in Eastern Europe, or they're scantily clad Eastern European women. So,
hey, whatever.
There are a lot of weird people in that number. So they're not all, I think, genuine followers. But yeah, I'm stunned that it's anywhere near that number. But
we do want to encourage people to go to your live because it's not like this where, I mean, it's very low key and it's very very conversational, which I enjoy that because you're not trying to push any agenda. You know, you might have a subject for the live with like
it's usually pretty organic. It does right. whatever it wants to.
But the fact that the people that come in there are some of the nicest people. They're nice to you, but they've been very nice to me. And
they are, in my opinion, the cream of the crop of the knife and EDC community.
Yeah.
But we also get, I mean, you guys. There's outdoor community. There's fishing community. There's barbecue and chefs that come in. There's a lot of veterans. I think that's where a lot of them who are in all of these different genres, a lot of them are veterans, and that's who kind of comes in and hangs out. So
yeah,
we give each other a bunch of grief about eating crayons and stuff. So.
And every time I go into your live, I tell people don't subscribe to Carlson Adventures,
and they listen.
Yeah.
Hey, it's great. I'm still giggling. I'm over here. I don't know if you've seen Jeremy's latest chat right there, but that's a prize right there, buddy.
Yeah, it's a non-profit.
Because
it ain't gonna make no profit. But okay, so go ahead, Brian. If you have more questions, I have a few, but go ahead.
All right,
but you go.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Out of all the knives do you have a favorite knife?
Ooh, a single favorite.
A current.
Is there one that you're just like, I would never part with this? This is my number one all-time greatest.
Not just
favorite
one,
knife.
No. Especially since I started this channel and I've been gifted a lot of really nice knives.
Mm-hmm. I figured this would be a tough one with the amount of knives that you have.
It is. I couldn't pick just one.
What about in a certain category? Can you pick one in a category like fixed versus folding, or a point, Tonto point versus sheep's head? Look, I'm learning.
I can a sheep's foot, but you were close.
Dang it, I got it wrong.
Sheep's head is a mushroom. Sheep's foot is a knife. Blade style. My favorite fixed blade, yeah. I mean, there's one that just comes up all the time. Folder, probably not. I could probably narrow it down to about 5 in folder, but
well, that'll do you.
Fox Parang. This one's just a great wood buster, chopper, good around camp, fun to use, doing course breakdown on large games, stuff like that.
Nice.
I would definitely encourage you not to loan that to Chris.
Oh, I actually had that at the last fall's meetup. I had it out. I was talking with Ross about it, actually. Ross and I were comparing his Etsy and my Fox. So.
Yep. So we were talking before the show. You were talking about there's so many different parts and moving parts and different types of knives, and like we're getting at points and fixed blades and folding and blah blah blah. And you were saying that you were thinking about doing some videos explaining all that different stuff. So what are your plans exactly, far as doing more like not reviews, but just explaining knife terminology, I guess.
Knowledge.
Yeah. We talked about the series that I just started working up. I still need to storyboard all the episodes, but I put the the trailer for the series up today. Well, I recorded it. But yeah, it's going to be knife knowledge tip to clip. So basically just walk you through parts of a knife, the nomenclature, the vocabulary, so you don't get lost as easily if you want to get serious about getting into, researching knives or looking for something for yourself, and you don't want to just ask me or whatever. You want to do it yourself. To kind of help you along that path and get you pointed in the right direction.
You just gave me an idea. Would you be willing to do a workshop on that at the meetup?
Sure, absolutely.
Like go through the different parts and if people have interest in that, F in the chat if you do. But you'd have to come to the meetup. It'd be a pressure to come to the meetup. But I think that would be cool because we could all learn at the same time. I mean, we'll watch your videos. Don't mind. We will watch your videos. But there's something about live instruction where you can see the thing and hold the thing. Okay, this is not going where I thought it would go.
Stop right there. Back it up. I just think, like we were talking, I think it'd be a great idea for a video series on your channel. Just from, like I was saying, I grew up hunting and fishing. I've used knives to, field dress game, fillet fish, whatever. But I know, blade, handle. That's it. There's so much more to it.
Don't touch the pointy end. That's
one side sharp, one side hurt. That's my, I may know a little bit more than that, but I, not compared to somebody like you, I could learn a lot. And I think there's a lot of other people out there, outdoorsmen, that would learn from it.
Well, I mean, if you're interested in that, absolutely. I mean, I'm happy to be a resource. I'm happy. I need to get one of the big Apache boxes so I could, like a Pelican case, basically, to put all the knives in, so I could travel with a bunch of these and let people try out different handle shapes and materials and all that stuff, blade shapes and sizes and things like that. Because in Indiana, we don't have a big knife shop. I go down to the Outdoorsman down on 135, just I think south of Smith Valley there. That's one of the best knife shops in central Indiana, and
really,
that's scary. I mean, the guys there are great. I love the guys there and everything, but I mean, it's still only like 2 cases full of knives. It's not a huge selection. But yeah, there in Cabela's are really about your only real options in this town, unless you hit a gun knife shop. So
but well, if you're willing to do that, so obviously these meetups that we're doing, it's about camaraderie and getting together and sharing ideas. Well, there's an idea, right? Huh? I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I said, and hugging Ross.
And hugging Ross, right?
That's becoming a new tradition.
So but if we can learn something in the process, like I could do something on well, I could do some first aid stuff, but well, actually, yeah, I could do a few. But having a workshop seems like it would be fun. Plus, it's one more thing that I don't have to do. Like,
I mean, and it's. I mean, you shouldn't have to do everything at all these
well, I can't
get
get these
togethers
guys
either.
to
So, but yeah, I mean, having a
If you only had a
class
helper.
or even if it's just dumping out knives on a table and let people,
or edibles, or not those type, the foraging edibles.
Huh? Oh,
Like you could do one on that too, because I know you know all that stuff.
I probably know it well enough to teach some folks, but it would be one of those basically, let's all go out and find whatever mushroom you find, pick it and bring it back, and we'll go through what's edible and what's
Okay, don't eat that
not.
one. Eat that.
Yeah. That'd basically be it.
Did you take a bite of that one? No. Okay, you're dead. Yeah.
I tried to learn some of that stuff, and then I get out there. I'm like, oh, I think that's it. I'm not really sure. No, I'm not eating it. If I'm not for sure, I'm like, I better not. A morel is morel, but anything else, I'm just kind of like, I think you can eat that, but I'm not willing to try it.
There aren't too many things that look like a morel, fortunately.
Yeah.
What isn't deadly or anything. So
they're like the chanterelles. Those are pretty easy to spot, but
easy to spot, and for the most part, easy to tell from anything that's too injurious. There's one out there that will make you a little sick if you eat too much of it, but if you mistake them, you've done something wrong anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So into that, you mentioned you had a degree. What kind of degree do you have? Is it in kind of like that field, like foraging, or
no, not really.
foraging degree?
I actually have degrees in turf management and landscape architecture. So, design parks, design strip malls, new towns, residential subdivisions, stuff like that. And then my specialty was designing golf courses. So I put those two degrees together and designed golf courses for a while. And then went to grad school for city and regional planning. So didn't get that degree, but all but thesis for that.
Nice.
So I can blame you for all the hard golf courses.
Well, I didn't design them all. But
he's got his degree. We get Mark from DMS and Peterson together. You guys could build a city, man.
Yeah, one guy doing it, one guy and two guys designing it.
There you go.
Making sure it's structurally sound.
Right.
Is Mark an architect or planner or something?
He's an engineer.
He's like an engineer. He designs like bridge pilings and stuff like that.
Structural engineer.
Like concrete engineer or something.
Yeah.
I think is what he does. And then Peterson, I don't know. They let him write his name in the concrete, I think is what he does.
Yeah. They let him show up.
Right.
Show up and carry stuff.
So you have a military background as well, correct?
That is true.
So 2 branches?
I served in Marine Corps. I was in the reserves while I went to college the first time, then went active duty Army and finished off my hitch there. So,
how long were you in both?
Total of a little over 5 years. So,
Gotcha. And that's part of where the grumpy grunt comes in.
Yeah. I'm a generally disagreeable person when I'm not engaging people online. And I am. I was a Marine Corps infantry. I was a machine gun Marine Corps. So
wow.
We don't talk about what I did in the Army, not because it's top secret or anything. It's just a ridiculous job.
Just a chapter you'd like to forget, maybe.
I wish. No, I was an illustrator in the Army.
Oh, you
really?
just
Yeah. They didn't need me.
Like cartography or that kind of thing?
No. I literally did
like
nothing.
Cartoons?
Nothing.
Literally did nothing.
I literally did nothing.
So your MOS, you did nothing.
I did not. I hid in the vault. They put me in the vault to collect flash traffic, which is emergency messages that come through about the end of the world or whatnot. But I didn't have a security clearance. I wasn't supposed to be in there, but they didn't have anything for me to do. So I drove officers around, and I sat in the vault and
Wow.
took care of maps and waited for flash traffic.
Good times.
Yeah.
Peterson says one guy does all the work. That's how it goes. So if anybody in the chat while we're still talking, if you guys have questions for Grumpy that you'd like to ask him about knives or his channel or live stream or
he's a very
foraging. I noticed your latest video. The whole time I was watching it, you were walking through that property that you said you've been on forever. And I'm noticing like the tall grass and all the weeds you're walking through. And I'm thinking, man, I hope he's got his clothes treated. That looks like tick central, this, that, and the other. And then at the end, you put in there, everything was treated. And I was like, all right. I was like, man, he's going to be covered with ticks.
There's a question.
How do I dye my own knife? I am hopefully going to be doing another video on this. This is another one. But this started out white. It was white G10, so it looked like this.
Yeah.
To begin with. And it's basically setting up the Rit Dymore brand for synthetics and water and a little bit of vinegar and getting it up to around 200 degrees. And then I set up multiple colors and do them all at the same time. Yeah, I do them all at the same time, and I try and get the fades that I want. I don't know how well the purple fades on the ends are coming in, but more orange here, and then it goes red to purple. So it's supposed to look kind of Deadpoolish. But that's really it. It's a lot of trial and error. I gave away the rainbow colored one, the tie-dyed looking one that I had at the meetup last fall. I gave that away to a friend. Or I'd show you that one. That was really nice. So, but that's really it in a nutshell. I'm going to be doing another video here soon because I have a stack of knives that I need to get modded for people. So
you do that too for people, right? So that
I just do it for friends.
Yeah.
Like you don't like buy it. I have heard of Mount Albert, but have never been there. You're talking about the one in Colorado?
Yeah, it's the tallest peak in Colorado. I've heard.
Have you heard of it, Chris?
No, never.
Never.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good one from Jeremy.
A good universal knife for the overland kitchen use. For campfire cooking. Your best bet is honestly to go with a kitchen knife. I tell you what, just a good all-around knife for camp and kitchen use. The White River Knives Firecraft 3.5, they have a larger, I think 5-inch or 5.5-inch version too.
I like that.
It's a nice, not too thick, high flat grind, S35BN, so it's stainless. Has a notch on the back for a fire rod. Comes with a fire rod and a
nice
Kydex sheath. But really, this feels a lot like something between a paring knife and like a station knife, which is you use in close quarters to break down veg and stuff like that if you're working in a professional kitchen in a line. So it's a good size for that, and it feels a lot like a kitchen knife in hand to me.
Do you have your chef knife handy there?
No, it's down.
It's
in the kitchen.
Okay. He has a chef. So when he was over here, I showed him I paid an ungodly amount of money. Well, I guess I actually consider.
I was gonna say, trust me, it's not.
I paid like $90 for a Japanese steel kitchen knife.
Did he laugh at you when you showed it to him?
And I'm like, I was so excited about it. I was like, dude, I paid $90 for this. He's like, oh, come on. Some people pay $300-$400. And but he has one that's kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was asking him about that. Because I'm gonna buy the companion knife to the $90 one soon.
I mean,
But
it's
yeah,
made, the ones you've got are made by Kai, which is a great company. And they do great work. Yeah, you're going to be happy with it, dude. I mean, I'm not knocking your knives at all. It's a great.
I
I mean,
just thought I'd
that's
spend a
actually
while.
a really big that's actually a really big first step for going to professional knives. And you didn't just go. Not that there's anything wrong with the Henkels or the Zwilling Henkels or
Ginsu.
Boostoff or Shun or any of those that you could buy at Sur La Table or Williams Sonoma. But the fact that you went and found something else that you liked better, and it wasn't something like that. I mean, I commend you for that. It's something that most people won't do. They'll follow the stream and
I heard about it from a guy who is in Japan, who is Japanese, and he is a minimalist. He's like a Zen minimalist. And he's like, this is the only knife I have in my kitchen. And his channel's Samurai Matcha, I think is what it's called. And he's like, this is the best knife. And when he went to cut a tomato, the tomato just like, nah. The tomato's just like hopping out of the way because it's so sharp. And so that's why I did that. I was like, okay, I'm going to get that knife because that looked awesome. I had no idea. And then I did research on the company, and Kai used to be samurai sword makers. They were actually made samurai swords. And I was like, oh, that's even cooler.
They should know what they're doing.
And then I'm like, I'm going to spend $90 and that's a lot.
Well, it is. Well, it is for a home cook. I mean, I spend so much time in the kitchen. I've owned, on top of the other experience, I've owned a bar and restaurant. I've worked in professional kitchens. I've done a lot of stuff. I enjoy cooking, and I enjoy cooking even more when I have a really nice knife.
Yeah.
That was another one of the things that kind of got me started on the channel, was realizing how many different parts of my life I use a knife for. I'm like, bushcrafting and camping and kitchen and, just doing stuff around the house and everyday carry and all this stuff. I'm like, man, how do we not all have dozens of knives laying around?
Well, the food that you make that you show on your Instagram is incredible. It's just like, I immediately get hungry. Here's Tony has
I saw that. I'll answer all things outdoors first. I mean, I know you're joking, but no. Where is it? This is what happens to Farberware in my one of my very first videos was me snapping this in my favorite sharpening system, which is my TS Prof K03. KME is a good one if you want to stay American and want something that's more handheld size, easy to get around on. Has smaller stones and things like that, but you can get the fully depth KME for like $320, and you could get like an entry level without the stand, with only like 3 or 4 basic stones for like $150, $170, something like that. Dang. So KME is a good one. TS Prof is my favorite. There are some good ones out there though. Halfstone makes one that looks pretty decent. Wicked Edge looks really cool. I just figured it's one that's, you hold your blade up this way and you go down both sides. It has 2 stones and you do this, and I'm like, I would just run my hand right back into that point, and that would be the end of that, and I would throw that thing across the room. So
talk about grumpy. That'd make you grumpy.
I have a very, very, very short temper. So
really,
that's a big part of this grumpy part.
Oh, man. Okay.
See?
Well,
you thought backpacking was expensive, Chris. Get into knives, man.
Everything we do is expensive, right? I mean, everything we try to do, any kind of, just like this thing I'm getting ready to announce, like later on, I'm getting into another kind of sport thing. It's expensive.
Oh yeah. Everything.
Yeah.
You're learning that one, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm learning that one. Grumpy Grunt is better than Bleedy Grunt.
Yeah.
Tony with a zinger. All right, you got any more questions for? Are you out?
Not right offhand. I mean, it's just like I want to encourage people to go check out his channel and his Instagram. Like I said, hop in. It's every Wednesday, correct? Your
Thursday.
lives?
My lives are every Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Every Thursday at 6:30
Today's
p.m.
Wednesday.
Eastern.
Had them backwards. Ours is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Anyways, go check him out. You'll be surprised. Like I was saying earlier, the community is that you have on your channel and the guys that come in, you all know each other, and it's like a weekly, like, hey, what's up, man? It's just fun to hang out, and what you'll learn about knives, you'll learn more in one live stream than you ever thought was possible about knives.
We'll argue about steels and stuff like that.
Right.
So, Andy, for bushcraft camping, I'm honestly not picky about my steels. I prefer stainless, but I've got tons of 1095, a little bit of 1075. I love my Essies. I love that Fox. I've got tops. I got tops in S35BN, the Camp Creek. I love that one. It's probably my favorite Nesmuk style blade of all so far. D2, but I've got, the D2 and the LT Wright low muck. That's all over the place, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with any steel. I can sharpen them all, and some of them are easier to keep sharp out in the field, but some of them, like that Fox and Bowler N690, it stays sharp. You don't have to touch that thing in the field. I've never had to sharpen that thing in the field, ever.
I feel like he's just throwing out numbers and letters, and we don't know the difference.
That's why I'm making the
I feel like
the series.
I've got the XJ5B, and that's a great.
Well, like
steel.
the 1075 and 1095. I've heard of that. Just
221, whatever it takes.
Yeah, 220, 221. Just from hauling steel for most of my career as a driver.
I mean, you got a lot of steels that are they're one letter and one number, so it's A1 or A2 or W1 or O1 or D2 or something like that, and most of those are legacy steels. So and most of them are stainless. So you just know right off the bat that they're stainless. They're tool steels, and they're probably easy to maintain in the field.
The steel on that Spanish knife that Clayton won at the last meetup. That
N690.
It was MOV 95, something like that. It was like a proprietary. It was like I don't think it was.
Oh, MOVA, the MOVA steel. It's what is it? I think it is their version of it's the same steel that Mori used to use.
Oh, really? Well, that's interesting.
I forget a more common name. It has a more common name. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah. Well, because when I bought it off Amazon, because that's where I buy underwear off Amazon. But
alrighty then.
I looked at that and I'm like, oh, okay, well that's impressive. I had no idea what I was thinking.
Okay. See you, Chris.
All right. Bye, Chris. There's our tech guy.
We didn't need him anyway.
No. Hey, what are you doing every Wednesday night? I need a new tech guy. I don't know where he went just now. But
I did it again. I'm sorry. Sorry.
If anybody out there would like to be my tech guy for Campfires and Catholes.
My thumb hit the mouse. Sorry. Okay. Well, dude, honestly, I hope you can make it to the meetup. I hope people will go to your channel. If you're interested in doing that workshop, we would love to have you. We would love to have you do that. Sure. Because we're gonna have the giveaway, and then I've got one other thing I'm doing, but we're not going to do a live stream from there again.
Ever,
never.
Well, until I figure it out. One last question from Andy.
LT right knives. I'm a fan of the SE times K-bar more too, but I've not touched the LPs. The little muck here, the one I just had out, that's the only experience I have with an LT right knife. Now I know people love them, and I know you can get them in all kinds of steels, but you got to be quick and you got to be patient until it comes in whatever steel you want. But LT Wright is a master in the knife world. He's one of the legends. So buy with confidence from LT Wright, absolutely. Now I love SE tops, K-bar, Mora, all of that as well. You can't beat an SE. You can't beat their warranty, man. That's why I recommend SE as the first real fixed blade outdoors knife for anyone. It's either Mora because you can afford to beat it up and break it if you need to, or it's SE because they'll replace it and no questions asked. So
I will say my Garberg is really going strong still.
Yeah, I've got a handful. I need to get out and work more, but it's still doing pretty good as well.
Yeah. I love the Garberg. I was a big fan of that. Okay, Brian, you got anything?
I'm good, man. It's been good to chat and have you on. And
yeah, man.
So we encourage everybody to go check out your channel as well.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody coming in and hanging out in the chat. I appreciate it too.
And go over to his tomorrow at 6:30. Go over to his channel and flood his live chat with outdoor people and ask a bunch about steels and see what everybody does.
Well, there's also I've got a giveaway going on right now. I've got my 500 subscriber giveaway.
That's right.
If you do come over and subscribe, I know Nicole's already in on it, but come over and subscribe and get in on the giveaway. There's giving away one of these guys. So,
oh, that's nice.
This one's mine. The one I'm giving away has the same carbon fiber scale, but it has orange accents on it. Brand new. Giving away a flashlight, giving away a Hank, giving away basically a whole EDC setup. So
yeah, very cool.
So yeah,
well, I'll be over there.
Yeah, come on, but yeah, both of you definitely get in.
He's got his chores that his wife makes him do on Thursday nights, so he can't. That's why he only stays 5 minutes.
Not me. I'm talking to somebody else.
Right on, Ross. But yeah, I'll be doing the drawing for the giveaway on my live on the 7th. So not this week, but next week I'll be doing the drawing for that.
Cool. Yeah. All right, man. Well, thank you, and thank you everybody for another great. You're a very interesting dude, and you might be angry, but I still like you.
Like I said, I can tolerate anybody for a few days.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Brian, you got parting words?
Get out there and explore.
Of course.
Get outside.
All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
See y'all.